And he was speaking about a very important topic. The Prophet being the leader of our Ummah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I think we're going to need to do a little bit better than that. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I still think we have more energy. Come on, these are the victors. You are the champions. You are the victors of the great civil rights movement. Let's do this one more time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. MashaAllah. I don't know if any of you are following the news. I try to follow the news in the language, in the Dutch language. All I see is a picture of myself and someone speaking in a way I don't understand, but I don't think they're saying very good things. I asked my friend to translate some of those things, and they told me they are saying such and such. In fact, I saw a video of them coming to this very conference center, the media, and coming to people who have no dog in the fight, have nothing to do with it, and trying to harass them, asking them. In fact, they even went to non-Muslims and asked them about Muhammad Hijab, white people in the streets. And to be fair, from what I understand, my friends translated it that they said, we don't know anything about him. We don't. So they even weren't buying the propaganda. But what I want to do to start off today is, since the media wants to harass the people in this conference hall and they don't want to come to me, I was open. I said, come, I'll be in the room. Spending all this time, not one of them came. Maybe some of them saw what happened to Piers Morgan. Maybe some other ones saw what happened to Rabbi Shmuley. Maybe they saw what happened to Dershowitz. Maybe they even saw what happened to David Wood. But since I'm a man who doesn't mind being questioned, I give this time now on stage. I know the media is here. Anybody who wants to ask me a question can come on this stage right now and ask me whatever you want. I will give you 60 seconds to come up. Where is Faber? Where is Wilders? Where are those people? What is the point of talking about freedom of speech when you are freedom of speech cowards? What is the point of talking about freedom of expression when you only care about some freedom of expression and not other? Let me tell you something. Yesterday I asked a question, and it was a poignant and pertinent question. And the question was, do you think that they would do this with a Jewish person, that they would ban entry to not just Holland but 26 Schengen European countries to a rabbi for having illiberal traditionalist views? What was the answer, yes or no? No. Let me hear that again, yes or no? No. One more time, yes or no? No! I want you to do it in Dutch this time, yes or no? Yeah, you know that one, don't you? It's true, they wouldn't. Because if they would have when those Israelis came for the football match, if you remember this. And they are known, the Tel Aviv Maccabees, or whatever they were called. I think they lost the match. I think they lost the match as well. They are known for their anti-Arab and racist sentiments. Yet, no minister dared to come and say that them coming into this country would be a breach of the peace. And it was a breach of the peace. It was a breach of the peace. I wonder now if the ministers of this country are going to ban them next time. I guarantee you they will not ban them next time, because they will say it is anti-Semitism. This is what they say. And that is why the point must be made over and over again that you, the PVV and your associates, the so-called Freedom Party and your associates, and those like you, like the ADL in Germany and the far right all over, have to make a decision. And that decision is whether you want to be true to what you say, which is a liberal democracy, or whether you want to be fascists, Nazis, fascists. Whether you want to go in the direction of J.S. Mill, or whether you want to go in the direction of Carl Schmitt, or even Adolf Hitler. We saw Elon Musk do the Hitler salute, and one of his associates reaching out to me only 2 weeks before I came, or 3 weeks before I came here, threatening me that if I don't stop talking about this or that, they said, if you don't stop speaking, you will be put in prison. This is what he said to me. We will put you in prison. And he said he heard this from the mouth of Elon Musk directly. 2-3 weeks later, I was meant to come here. They banned me from this country and 26 other countries. I don't know whether or not this is a coincidence. What do you think? Is it coincidence, yes or no? You see, if I had that same opinion, maybe they'd take me to court, but that's your opinion, that's fine. I think there's a project at play, a global project that aims to remove and expunge and eliminate Islam and Muslims, especially from Europe. And we, the Muslims, must have a response. And just to be clear, because I know people are watching and listening, our response is not a violent response. It is not. And how dare you talk about violence when you are the ones who have been supporting and aiding the greatest genocide in the last 50 to 100 years, in the Palestinian genocide. How dare you speak to us? How dare you talk to us about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, about our Prophet, and about tolerance, and about acceptance, and about plurality and pluralism, when I can guarantee you the Prophet Muhammad 1,400 years ago exhibited more tolerance, more freedom of religion than your PVV party and all of your parties and every single one of your parties in Europe put together. And the evidence of that is that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in his immaculate leadership 1,400 years ago made a constitution which gave Jewish people, which gave Christian people, which gave non-Muslim people full rights of protection. And that the Quran says, لا إكراه في الدين قد تبين الرشد من الغي, that there is no compulsion in religion, that truth has been made clear from falsehood. This is what the Quran says. And in fact, Umar ibn al-Khattab and those Khulafa Rashideen, Mahdiyin, they allowed Jews and Christians to have their own courts, to rule by their own laws on matters to do with their own issues. This is a freedom that the West hasn't even realized with the Muslim populations until today. They don't allow it for us. So don't lecture us about freedom of expression, freedom of religion, and tolerance with religion. The right-wing parties of this country, they attack the Prophet Muhammad explicitly. People like Geert Wilders, who wants to see a ban of the Quran, who has put that on record, and who is so extreme that other members of parliament couldn't even make him into a prime minister, despite his party having a majority in the Senate, in the House of Representatives. Is that right or not? Say it in Dutch, yes or no? Yes or no? Geert Wilders and people like him, like that woman Faber, his dog. And if there weren't children in this room, I'd use a more stringent term. That when he says to her, jump, the only thing she can say to him is, how high? That they have the audacity to talk to us about these matters with that kind of track record. Let me ask you a question. Do you think the PVV or any other politician in Holland would even be given a seat in the Senate or the House of Representatives if they said we should ban the Talmud? Yes or no? They talk to us, and they put this on the media, about pedophilia, and they accuse the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam of such a thing. They say that we are glorifying such a thing. I think they have gotten us confused with the rabbis of the Talmud, who said that Rebecca was 3 years old when she married Isaac, according to Genesis, according to the Old Testament. Islam is the only religion of the 3 Abrahamic religions which has an explicit condemnation of pedophilia. If you want to ban a religion which has interpretations for millennia of a pedophilic nature, then you have no further to look than the Jewish sources, the Talmud, the Midrashim, and all those things with it. I challenge you to speak about those sources. I challenge everybody on the right to show that they are not shackled by the expectations and the commandments of the Zionists by criticizing Judaism. They will never do it. Voltaire said, and he was meant to be one of the great liberal thinkers, that I detest what you say, he said, but I will fight to the death your right to say it. This is the emblematic notion of freedom of expression. And some other things are attributed to him. For example, the saying that if you want to know who's in charge of you, Look at who you cannot criticize. So we ask, who is it that the Dutch government and all the politicians cannot criticize? When was the last time you heard them criticize the Zionists? Have you heard them criticize them? I was online and I saw that they were attacking the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And they were saying about him that he killed 600 Jews of Banu Qurayza, and that that's an indication that he is anti-Semitic, and therefore we should be warned against the religion of Islam. I find it incredulous that the very criticisms they have of Islam are not just confessions of their own position, but proofs of the opposite of what they are trying to say. Because in fact, the incident with Banu Qurayza was exactly the way things should have been, since the Prophet ﷺ did not kill a single innocent, did not kill a single woman, did not kill a single child, and he forbade us from doing that. And in fact, there was due process and a judicial process spearheaded by a person who the Jewish combatants had chosen in Sa'd ibn Mu'adh, such that even Karen Armstrong herself, in her book, A Short Introduction to Islam, says that this was nothing to do with the fact that they were Jewish. And I find it more incredulous that they are talking about 600 combatant Jews that were killed 1,400 years ago, and they have forgotten about 50,000 killed Palestinians that were just killed 2 months ago. How seriously do you want us to take you when you haven't condemned women and children being killed in cold blood, incinerated, blasted, burnt, destroyed? You don't care about them, yet you want us to care about 600 combatants from 1,400 years ago. And you want us to take you seriously? The Banu Qurayza incident and others like it, like Fathu Mecca, were all actual examples of the Prophet ﷺ's diplomatic judgments, his mercy, his justice. If only you had dealt with us the way the Prophet dealt with his enemies. If only the Israelis had dealt with the Palestinians the way the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ dealt with the Jews. Don't ever speak to us about how we should behave when you have the most horrible track record of all of history. And now you are crying about immigration. You are saying there are too many Moroccans in this country, too many people from Suriname and Morocco and this country and that country and these African countries. Why don't they go back home, they say. My question to those who say that, like Geert Wilders and others, is if that's the principle you operate on, when was the last time you went to South Africa and told the Afrikaners there, the white South Africans, to leave and go back to Holland? Have you ever heard Geert Wilders tell the white South Africans to leave and go back to Holland? No. Yes or no? No. In fact, in 2018, Geert Wilders said the opposite. He said the white South Africans should come here to Holland and they have freedom of asylum. And they've always been supportive of them. They don't say they don't have a right to citizenship in South Africa. They would never say such a thing. Which shows you the matter is not about immigration, it's about race. It's about race and religion. And that's why I say to the honorable Dutch people, the good Dutch people who have overachieved in this country, a country which has excellent engineering progress. Everywhere I go, I see fantastic engineering and so on and so forth. I say to them, don't fall for it. You have a good reputation, don't fall for this. We the Muslims, we want to have a good relationship with the rest of the people, dominant populations in Europe. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Do we want to harm our brothers and sisters, people who are non-Muslim here in Holland? No, we don't. We want to be lawful members of society. But it's a two-way street. If you're going to be racist to us and then expect us to conform, that's a recipe for disaster. You can't remove our citizenships. Just know that for you to be able to remove our citizenships, you need to change your constitutions and become fascist. So since you can't remove our citizenships, you have to learn to get along with us, because we are ready to get along with you. Inshallah, I will call it a day. You guys have been beautiful and honorable to me. After the ban and the historical moment, I would like to say from the bottom of my heart that I do love you all. You gonna say it back? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.